before yet. It was so easy. I hold the world record for memorising and reciting 100 individually shuffled packs of playing cards. It was better the first time. Now, it took 65 hours over 5 days, and at 5,200 cards, I got just 12 cards wrong. Now put your hand in the air if you think that's an incredible demonstration of memory power. All of you put your hand in the air, listen to the question. Come on! Play difference games. Now put your hand in the air if you think I'm a very sad man. We've probably got a very small circle of friends. Now it might interest you to know that I was not born with the ability to be able to memorise packs of playing cards. And if I look back to my education, in fact I was a very average student. I was just below average student. And I got an average set of GCSEs, or O-levels as they were called. And I know what my grades were. Because we all remember the first time we wore long trousers. We all remember our first kiss. We all remember our first Krispy Kreme donut. And we remember our GCSE results. They are tattooed on the inside of our eyelids. We see them 1,000 times a day. We all remember our results. They become part of our DNA. Don't they?
Not in my case.
But we remember what our GCSE results are. It becomes part of who we are. But not only that, but it gives us our level of opportunity at that moment in time. Very specifically. It's a sliding scale. So if you get a poor set of GCSE results, you might get 2 options. If you get 5, if you get a good set of GCSE results, you might get 5. If you get a really good, you might get 10. If you get exceptional, you've probably got 30. Exponential circle of life. But the reality is that as I go around schools and I talk to them about education, and I talk to them about learning, and I talk about GCSE results, the one thing I always say to a head is I say around and say, are you doing the best in teaching your kids how to learn? They go, of course I am. They get very indignant very quickly. I go, okay, well tell me what you're doing. They go, well, we provide this magnificent school. I go, okay, so you're providing a great learning environment. I go, yes. I go, okay, what else? They go, well, we get the latest software, laptops, computers, and we get tablets and the like. And I go, so you're getting the latest, so you're providing great technology. I go, yes. What else? And I go, well, you know, we provide great practical care, so you're attending to the individual's needs. Fantastic. Anything else? Yeah, well, we keep the pupil-teacher ratio as low as possible, okay, so that they get the attention they need. And I go, anything else? And they go, well, isn't that enough? And I go, okay, so well, tell me this. When a student comes up to a teacher and says, excuse me, miss or sir, how do I learn those 10 words in French? What does the teacher do? Well, the teacher will spend more time with them. But doing what? Well, they'll go through those 10 words again. In the same way? Yeah, probably. So they're doing it in the same way with the same pupil, but expecting a different result. That's insanity! Oh, okay. And at this point, when that pupil is stood in front of the student, the school, the technology, the pastoral care, and the pupil-teacher ratio doesn't mean a great deal. Because they don't know how to learn those 20 words. But more importantly, the teacher doesn't know how to teach them how to learn. So when I go back to my experience doing GCSEs, I got a below average set of results, which meant a below than average set of opportunities. But if I look back now, I know and understand that my school did not teach me how to learn. And in fact, as I travel all over the globe now, I have never found a school that uses accelerated learning principles and all those concepts of how to learn as part of their curriculum. They bobble around here and there, pop their head up every so often. One or two teachers take it on board. But no school on the planet has yet imprinted it into the DNA of the way they teach. So when I left school, I didn't have many opportunities. And at the age of 20, I joined the fire service. And being a fireman is brilliant. It's a fantastic job. I loved it. But I wasn't very bright. So you know how everybody has a nickname in the fire service? Right? Some that you can't share, but more, you know. I'll show you mine. Mine was Thrombo. Right? Which was short for thrombosis, as in a slow-moving clot. You laugh more than I did. It's one of those things that's funny until it's about you. So I didn't do very well in the fire service. I kept failing my probation exams. I eventually got through my probation. Then I sat my promotion exams and failed them. And I sat in front of an officer and I said, "Excuse me, sir, what am I going to do?" And he said, "Look, son, disappear. You're never going to pass." But the thing is, because I left school with a below average set of GCSEs, that matched my expectations. But I wasn't too happy being fine, so I was fine. I get 7 or 8 years into my fire service career, and I buy a book on memory. How to improve your memory. And 8 months after buying this book on memory, I go to the World Memory Championships. What a set of geeks they were. Problem is, I fit right in. So I competed for 2 days and I came 4th. I did. One person's like, "Oh, okay, no, I'm not clapping. Nobody else is clapping. I'm not going to sit there on me and go, well done, dear. I'm not going to on my own." So I came 4th, and I also became an international grandmaster of memory. At the time, only 3 people had achieved the criteria to become an international grandmaster of memory out of 6 billion people on the planet. To be fair, I don't think all 6 billion had had a go. But I went back to study Halifax and life changed very quickly. And since that day, I've gone on to develop one of the most powerful memories in history. How did I do it? Dead simple. I used practice, system, technique, strategy, practice and application. It wasn't intelligence, and it wasn't intellect. What I did was I learned how to learn. And that changed my life. Because overnight it gave me opportunities that had just never presented themselves before. Being able to learn and knowing how to learn and having a process is the most valuable thing I think we can teach our students. So when they get to 16, we want them at the top of the scale. So let's look a little bit at how this works. What do you think is the basic principle of improving memory begins with I?
Images.
Images! Imagination. If I give you the word breakfast, what are you thinking of? Is anybody thinking of the black word breakfast on a white background? No. You're thinking of food. And yet, those of you who've got GCSE students, go home and look at their books. How much is words and how much is images? If I go into W.H. Smith's now and I look at the study guide section and I look at Key Stage 1, the ones in there for the little nippers, it's 90% images. I get to A level and it's 90% words. The problem is the way we learn has not changed in the interim period. But the way the information is presented has. We think in images. And what kind of images do we remember the best? We remember things that are weird, and ridiculous, and fun, and stupid, and exaggerated, and multisensory. But that's not how we talk in the classroom most of the time. Think about adverts. What did adverts look like 50 years ago? It was a woman with a bar of soap going, "Buy some pear soap." And sales doubled overnight. Now it's dancing clothes, and you don't know it's chocolate till the end. They're just trying to get your attention. They're not even trying to sell you something. We're thinking images. And actually we have a perfect and wonderful and infinite imagination. You can imagine anything. I could describe something to you that you've never even seen. And you can imagine it. It might not look like the real thing, but that's not their point. And the more weird and ridiculous and fun and exaggerated they make that image, the more likely you are to remember it. So what I thought we'd do is I thought I would test your imagination and memory today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a memory test. Now put your hand up if you really want to do this. You see, in life you've got two choices. You're either a participant or you're a spectator. So you don't have to do this exercise. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get any better. Worse, but you're not going to get any better, right? You're going to stay where you are. Who wants to be the same? Who wants the same life in 5, 10, 20 years that they've got now? Well, at some point you're going to have to step out of the box. Today, now, here, is where it kicks off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of 20 words, and together in beautiful swoops, harmony, you're going to recite them back. Are you ready? Are you excited? Yeah. Oh, come on, shake your leg. Are you excited? Yes. Now you're just lying. That was too much. Egg? No, don't listen. At the end! Egg. What's wrong with you people? It's wrong. Recite them back at the end. You alright, ready? A. Wardrobe. Telescope. Door. Lawnmower. Skateboard. Football. Window. Computer. Elephant. Bugs Bunny. Flag. Car. Tree. Hat. Tower. Dolphin. Tennis racket. Wrapping paper. Eagle. What's number 1? Egg. 2. Water. 3. Telescope. Next one. Door. Next one. Lawnmower. Next one. Skateboard. Football. Well, cold means specific. See, Pippa, you were applauding mediocrity there. In fact, it was worse than mediocrity, it was pathetic. By the time we got to dolphin, it was one person going, dolphin. The rest of you were going, thank God they arrived. Thank God you came. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap into your beautiful imaginations. I'm going to show you how to do it. So imagine you're cracking open an egg and out falls a wardrobe. The top of the wardrobe is a telescope. You look through the telescope and there's a door. Go through the door and there's a lawnmower. The lawnmower is riding on a skateboard. The skateboard kicks a football. The football smashes through a window and lands on a computer. On top of the computer is an elephant. On top of the elephant is Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is waving a flag. On the flag is a picture of a car. Going out the sunroof of the car is a tree. On top of the tree is a hat. On top of the hat is a tower. In the balcony of the tower is a dolphin. The dolphin is playing with a tennis racket. The tennis racket is covered in wrapping paper, and the wrapping paper has got pictures of eagles on it. Shut your eyes, please. I'm cracking open an egg and out falls a wardrobe. Top of the wardrobe is a telescope. Look through the telescope, you see a door. Go through the door and there's a lawnmower. The lawnmower is riding on a skateboard. The skateboard kicks a football. The football smashes through a window and lands on a computer. On top of the computer is an elephant. On top of the elephant is Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is waving a flag. On the flag is a picture of a car. Sunroof of the car is a tree. On top of the tree is a hat. On top of the hat is a tower. On the balcony of the tower is a dolphin. The dolphin is playing with a tennis racket. The tennis racket's covered in wrapping paper, and on wrapping paper are pictures of eagles. Eyes awake. We're going to do this quickly. So, 1.
Egg, wardrobe, telescope, door, doormat, skateboard, football, window, computer, elephant, butterfly, flag, car, tree, hat, tower, dolphin, tennis racket, wrapping paper, eagle.
And one thing that impressed me the most is where you all packed yourselves at the end. Remember, you were nothing 5 minutes ago till I came along. Now, some of you might be wondering what those numbers are on the screen. Can anybody tell me what they are?
Pi.
It's pi. Now, on the 1st of May 1998, I recited pi to 22,500 digits. Now put your hand up if you think I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do now is give you an insight into actually what's possible with the human brain. And I'm going to recite those numbers for you and give you some idea of how much fun we really did have. 1 4 1 5 9 2 6 5 3 5 8 7 9 3 2 3 4 6 2 6 4 3 8 2 7 9 5 1 2 1 4 1 9 7 1 6 9 3 9 3 7 5 1 5 8 2 9 7 4 9 4 5 9 2 3 7 8 1 6 4 6 2 8 6 2 8 9 8 6 2 8 2 3 4 8 5 3 4 2 1 7 6 7 9 8 2 1 5 2 6 5 1 3 2 8 2 3 6 6 4 7 9 3 4 4 6 7 5 5 1 5 8 2 2 3 1 2 5 2 5 9 1 2 8. It just leaves me to say one thing before I leave, and that is this. Every single bit of success that you have from this moment on is completely due to me.